Good morning, this is the Paradise Unicorn Priestess bringing you day 224 of A Course in Miracles, the Yin translation, where we use female words. This would be August 12th if you're starting at the new year. The Immediacy of Salvation. The one remaining problem that you have is that you see an interval between the time when you forgive and will receive the benefits of trusting in your sister. This but reflects the little you would keep between you and your sister, that you and she might be a little separate. For time and space are one illusion, which takes different forms. If it has been projected beyond your mind, you think of it as time. The nearer it is brought to where it is, the more you think of it in terms of space. There is a distance you would keep apart from your sister, and this space you perceive as time because you still believe you are external to her. This makes trust impossible, and you cannot believe that trust would settle every problem now. Thus do you think it safer to remain a little careful and a little watchful of interest perceived as separate. From this perception, you cannot conceive of gaining what forgiveness offers now. The interval you think lies in between the giving and receiving of the gift seems to be one in which you sacrifice and suffer loss. You see eventual salvation, not immediate results. Salvation is immediate. Unless you so perceive it, you will be afraid of it, believing that the risk of loss is great. Between the time its purpose is made yours and its effects will come to you. In this form is the error still obscured that is the source of fear. Salvation would wipe out the space you see between you still and let you instantly become as one. And it is here you fear the loss would lie. Do not project this fear to time, for time is not the enemy that you perceive. Time is as neutral as the body is, except in terms of what you see it for. If you would keep a little space between you and your sister still, you then would want a little time in which forgiveness is withheld a little while, and this but makes the interval between the time in which forgiveness is withheld from you and given seem dangerous, with terror justified. Yet, space between you and your sister is apparent only in the present, now, and cannot be perceived in future time. No more can it be overlooked except within the present. Future loss is not your fear, but present joining is your dread. Who can feel desolation except now? A future cause as yet has no effects, and therefore must it be that if you fear, there is a present cause, and it is this that needs correction, not a future state. The plans you make for safety all are laid within the future, where you cannot plan. No purpose has been given it as yet, and what will happen has as yet no cause. Who can predict effects without a cause? And who could fear effects unless she thought they had been caused and judged disastrous? Now, belief in sin arouses fear, and, like its cause, is looking forward, looking back, but overlooking what is here and now. Yet only here and now its cause must be, if its effects already have been judged as fearful. And in overlooking this, is it protected and kept separate from healing? For a miracle is now. It stands already here, in present grace, within the only interval of time that sin and fear have overlooked, but which is all there is to time. The working out of all correction takes no time at all, yet the acceptance of the working out can seem to take forever. The change of purpose the Holy Spirit brought to your relationship has in it all effects that you will see. They can be looked at now. Why wait till they unfold in time and fear they may not come, although already there? You have been told that everything brings good that comes from God, and yet it seems as if this is not so. Good in disaster's form is difficult to credit in advance, nor is there really sense in this idea. Why should the good appear in evil's form? And is it not deception if it does? Its cause is here if it appears at all. Why are not its effects apparent then? Why in the future? And you seek to be content with sighing and with reasoning, you do not understand it now, but will some day. And then its meaning will be clear. This is not reason, for it is unjust, and clearly hints at punishment until the time of liberation is at hand. Given a change of purpose for the good, there is no reason for an interval in which disaster strikes to be perceived as good someday, but now in the form of pain. This is a sacrifice of now, which could not be the cost the Holy Spirit asks for what she gave without a cost at all. Yet this illusion has a cause, which, though untrue, must be already in your mind. And this illusion is but one effect that it engenders, and one form in which its outcome is perceived. This interval in time, when retribution is perceived to be the form in which the good appears, is but one aspect of the little space that lies between you unforgiven still. Be not content with future happiness. It has no meaning, and is not your just reward, for you have cause for freedom now. What profits freedom in a prisoner's form? Why should deliverance be disguised as death? Delay is senseless, and the reasoning that would maintain effects of present cause must be delayed until a future time is merely a denial of the fact that consequence and cause must come as one. Look not to time, but to the little space between you still to be delivered from, and do not let it be disguised as time, and so perceived because its form is changed, and what it is cannot be recognized. The Holy Spirit's purpose now is yours. Should not her happiness be yours as well? There are several interesting things about today's reading. It talks about time and the body being neutral. We have been told that time and the body are things that the ego made to reinforce separation. And we have been told that the Holy Spirit has transformed everything the ego made, or everything we made under the ego's direction, because the ego can't make anything. When we were tricked into making things like time and the body, the Holy Spirit turns all these things to a beneficial purpose. And then we are encouraged to not fall into the trap of using those things for the ego's purposes, but handing them over to the Holy Spirit to be used for beneficial purposes. Everything that was made under the ego's direction can be used for a good purpose, and therefore is declared neutral, because it could be used for separation and harm and pain, or it could be used for love and benefit and blessing. Now, there is one thing that A Course in Miracles declares is never neutral, and that is our thoughts. It's one of the early lessons, I have no neutral thoughts. And it makes the bold declaration that everything we think of as our thoughts are actually not our real thoughts and are meaningless. The reason being they are all tainted by fear. None of them are pure love. And we are being asked to give all of them up so that thoughts of pure love may bloom in their place, may take their place, may be the miracle. Following up the lesson that I have no neutral thoughts is the lesson I see no neutral things. And the reason is because we have no neutral thoughts, and nothing has any inherent meaning except the meaning we give it. In that sense, because our thoughts are not neutral, we give meaning to things like time and the body, and they cease being neutral when we have done that. So if our thoughts are tainted with fear, those are the thoughts that give time and the body, which A Course in Miracles says are inherently neutral, a meaning that is associated with the ego. And so all of these things we give over to love, and they get used for benefit and for miracles. It seems that the religions of the world are creations of the ego. We have these false gods that are just big egos demanding sacrifice and claiming that it is atonement for sin, which is impossible. That's what karma is. That's what the classic Christian atonement is. And all of them are impossible and won't work and just trick us into continuing in a path of suffering. Another one of those traps is this dogma that reward comes not in life, but after death, that we have to wait until we die to either receive eternal reward or eternal punishment. So we got to let that whole idea go. It is not doing anybody any good. We are taught in A Course in Miracles, and might I add, we are also taught this in the other spiritual forms that originate in the East, that the only time in which salvation happens is now, in the present moment. So this is the thing we are being asked to consider. And it talks about how when we think we're afraid of the future, what we're actually afraid of is the present moment, where love is, where joining is. The thing that we're actually dreading is joining our sister and becoming one. We are, in effect, leaning into the illusion of both time and space to try and create a gap. The very opening line in this text refers to it as the one remaining problem we have. Here we are in the text of A Course in Miracles. We are getting toward the end of it, and it has worked through many things, and it's basically saying, all right, if you've done all the things up till now, this is the one remaining problem you have. Interesting. That makes my ears perk up. That seems important to pay attention to. Oh, this is the one remaining problem we have that is keeping us from experiencing salvation in the present moment? All right, I'm all ears. Tell me, what is this problem? It's basically saying that, okay, you've accepted this idea that your purpose here is forgiveness and that you must forgive all things in whatever forms they take, but you're holding off on trusting your sister. You're like, yeah, I get it. Eventually, yeah, I'll just wait and see if my sister's trustworthy before I trust. You know, she's got to earn it. She's got to earn it first. I forgave her, but she's got to earn my trust. And A Course in Miracles is basically saying, when you do that, that's where you're holding off salvation from happening right now. Previous lessons of A Course in Miracles have encouraged us to be defenseless, to not try and defend ourselves, and to not try and plan for the future, but to hand the future over to God. And it says here in today's text reading that all the plans that we make are for future safety, and it's impossible to plan for the future. We can all think back on our experiences and see that the further out in the future something is, the less accurate is our conceptions of what the future might look like. Even when it comes to those who have psychic gifts, who have the ability to sense future events coming, those predictions are woefully inaccurate because the future is unwritten. How it appears keeps changing depending on what happens now, because that's where all the power is. That's where the power of choice is. The future is not written. And that is why the safest thing we can do is hand the future over to love. The moment we hand over the present moment to be solved by the Holy Spirit, to be judged by the Holy Spirit, the miracle covers everything. Everything is paradise. Everything is shining with the light of heaven. And the moment that we identify with the ego and try to solve the problem ourselves and reinforce separation and believe in separation, everything becomes doom-colored and is in the darkness of hell. And the reason we seem to be in gradients, shades of gray and complexity and labyrinths is because we are so quickly and swiftly bouncing back and forth between these two choices in our lives, and we're constantly getting mixed results. The moment we give things over to God, the miracle is already there, but in the illusion, it seems to take time to reach us. The miracle is there, we just haven't perceived it yet. So imagine the miracle is a thing that happens with distance in space. Say it happens in another state or another city miles away, and it takes time for the information to get to you, but the thing already happened. That is a distance that we have put between us and the miracle, where it takes time for us to learn about it, or maybe it takes time for the information to get to us, the news about it that it happened. But it happens the moment we give it over. So all those layers of illusion are things that we put in place, and the Holy Spirit is saying those packets of distance will collapse when you decide to trust your sister. That's where you no longer are terrified of being one with your sister. And it was a previous text reading where it says that we are given one sister to see truly and love and forgive. And I've talked about how I experiment with viewing, when it talks about our sister, that it's not a specific human or a specific circumstance or a specific animal or a specific thought or whatever. It's the entire present moment with all of its seeming details and complexity, that is our sister. And if that's true, then that is what we are being asked to trust. We do have this tendency to think when something bad happens, oh, this is a lesson God is giving me for my own good. Okay, well, this is saying that if it's good, it's going to seem good. It doesn't make sense. It's not reasonable for it to seem to have evil effects and be good. It's been explained to us that the Holy Spirit can turn anything to our good. That doesn't make it inherently good that it's an unpleasant experience. Rather, those unpleasant experiences are caused by our resistance and our lack of forgiveness and our lack of trust and our lack of open-mindedness. The experiment here is to open up our trust to the present moment, to be willing to disbelieve in what seems to be painful and evil, because it is an illusion that doesn't exist and is not the reality and is not God's will at all. To see our faithlessness, our lack of trust in the present moment, acknowledge that it's there, but to not use it, to hand it over. Again, that's the name of the game, right? We hand it over to God. We do it more quickly. We recognize more quickly when we haven't. We are more thorough at handing all of it over to God. And we say, I don't understand this at all. I'm incapable of understanding this. I give this over to you to judge. And that's where the collapse happens. That is the leap of faith. That is the only cost that's being asked of us, really. And it's not a cost at all, because when we do that, that's the moment of Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego thrown into the fiery furnace and it doesn't burn them. Daniel thrown into the lion's den and the lion doesn't eat him. We are promised that if we are defenseless, we will be safe. And we are asked to test this in our lives. It's not easy. It goes against everything that we think we've been taught, because we've learned the wrong lesson. And so we practice it in whatever way we can let ourselves practice it. We try it out in whatever way we feel we can try it out and test it and see if it's true. All right, after reviewing the What is Forgiveness passage that's in the show notes, we look at our lesson for the day, lesson 224. God is my mother and she loves her child. My true identity is so secure, so lofty, sinless, glorious, and great, wholly beneficent and free from guilt, that heaven looks to it to give it light. It lights the world as well. It is the gift my mother gave to me, the one as well I give the world. There is no gift but this that can be either given or received. This is reality, and only this. This is illusion's end. It is the truth. My name, O Mother, still is known to you. I have forgotten it, and do not know where I am going, who I am, or what it is I do. Remind me, Mother, now, for I am weary of the world I see. Reveal what you would have me see instead. And that is our lesson. What a beautiful prayer that offers up to God that we do not understand anything in this insane illusion, and we are asking for sanity and happy practicing.